SA Express has been liquidated. An order was granted in the South Gauteng High Court for its final liquidation. The embattled airline has been grounded since being placed under provisional liquidation over 2 years ago. All attempts to sell the business didn't succeed. Let's get some reaction now from Zazi Nsibanyoni-Mugambi. She's the president of the South African Cabin Crew Association, and she joins us now. Zazi, thank you so much for joining us. I'm told following the court proceedings, it was really a feeling of sadness that this process has ground to this kind of halt. Your first reaction to this latest development?
I'm sorry, I'm struggling to hear you, but I think our reaction as South African Cabin Crew Association is one of, we're extremely sad about this particular moment, because ourselves as SACA and NUMSA have done so much over the years to try and make sure SA Express takes to the skies again. And I mean, we've been as far as going to the Constitutional Court in order to sort of force the DPE to involve itself and to save SOEs. And I mean, we've been attempting to assist the FlySax employees in order to be able to find investors. We have tried our level best to get the liquidator, Aviation, to include us in the creditors meeting, which is his fiduciary duty. And it seems there has been everything going against us in terms of trying to get Express back to the sky. So it's a sad day, not only for SACA, but also for the employees. Employees have been hoping to get their jobs back and be re-employed in an aviation market which is struggling and which is very, very thin. So I mean, all in all, it's not a good day for us.
Were you able to appeal or oppose this final order on behalf of your members?
I mean, we've been opposing all along, and I think we've reached a point where, I mean, it come at a great cost to us. And I mean, this final opposition, we would have hoped at this time for the Department of Public Enterprises, which is a shareholder, to come to the party and try and salvage this particular airline. I mean, we've gone as far as going to the Human Rights Commission in order to try get them to intervene, and nothing we have tried has worked. So, I mean, it was written on the wall. If the owners, and especially Parliament, by the way, which has a South African Express Act, are not meant to terminate or liquidate or allow a liquidation of Express, they have done nothing. And we have tried our level best, but unfortunately, it hasn't worked.
Our reporter Heidi Jokos, who's been following the story very closely, said earlier that it was quite telling that there was only a WhatsApp message from the business rescue practitioners. And this is worrying because there are still next steps that need to be followed. Your reaction to that?
I mean, Aviation has been the most terrible, most useless, most facetious liquidator on the face of the earth. First of all, he has failed to communicate with the employees of SA Express. He has failed to invite them to any creditors' meetings, which is, according to the Companies Act, his duty to do so. He has failed to look at all the different bids that were put before him and actually get us to understand why they have been rejected. I mean, all Aviation, the liquidator, has done is just collect fees on a monthly basis at the expense of SA Express. I mean, you would know. There was a bid that was made by FlySax employees. That bid was successful, and those employees did not have the capital, so they raised funds with, coincidentally, the same funders that have Takazo, which has now gone and tried to fund SAA, and they ditched them at the last minute. So they then made other attempts to try get another investor, which they did so successfully. That bid was sent to the liquidator. The liquidator simply came back and said, sorry, it has been rejected. To date, no one knows the value of SA Express. We don't know what rand amount SA Express is valued at. That has not been disclosed to us. So there's so many questions Aviation has to ask. And I think this sort of behavior is disgusting, and we will challenge it with the relevant authorities. We cannot have this continue as this climate nowadays. So many business rescue happening, liquidations happening. So things have to be done correctly.
It really seems like the bloodletting, there's just no end to the bloodletting in this aviation industry. And so many stakeholders in the industry, including the end users, are really struggling and suffering. What do you think is the way forward? Is there a way forward to a very, very important industry?
I mean, it is a bloodbath. It is devastating for so many. I mean, SAA has lost a whole lot of employees. Mango has gone, and we're trying to salvage that. Express is gone. So the aviation industry is not doing well at all. And the government, that is in charge of SOEs has also not played their part in terms of trying to protect these particular employees or try to get them some sort of cash value so that they can, at least part ways amicably. So aviation is not only bad for workers, it is bad for the daily traveler, because try book a ticket in these days to Durban. It is ridiculous. The market is raising prices because there's no competition. And I mean, the airlines are simply taking all of these routes and they're just becoming bigger and they're capitalizing on the market. So it's not a good time. And it's about time that we get a comment from the DPE and their position on SA Express. They failed to oppose at any point.
Okay, we'll leave it there. Many, many questions, very few answers, it seems, in this story. That's Zazi Nsibanyoni-Mugambi, the president of the South Africa Cabin Crew Association. We thank her for her time.